Elven sages are some of the wisest beings in The Witcher. They generally possess magical skills and have knowledge about some topics that most sorcerers know nothing about. In the books and games, we meet a few of these sages, known as the Aelirenns in the Elven tongue. A few examples of Elven sages that you might be familiar with are Aelirenns and Aelirenns. But there are a few more. Most of them were on El, the elves to also make up the Wild Hunt. But there were a few Unshay elves besides Ida who had the title of Aelirenn, and one of those was Simlas Finn Aep Dabairr, maybe better known as Francesca Findabair's father. Centuries ago, when humans were taking over the elven land, Simlas was in a position of power with the remaining elves. Like most, he didn't trust the humans. Something he would often tell his daughter was that only those lacking sense would trust the word of a Dwan. In her youth, Francesca would be taught many things by her father. Everything from distrusting humans to teachings about the elder blood. But as time went on, Simlas changed his behavior towards humans. When using his crystal orb, he saw visions of the future, and because of what he saw, he decided it would be better to make peace with humans, rather than to fight them, as a war would mean the end of all elves. But not every elf thought that was the right choice. Some wanted to fight, including his daughter Francesca. In the events that we know as Aelirenns' uprising, a very large portion of the young elves would take up arms in an attempt to drive the humans off their land. The fighting would not last very long, as soon the humans would decimate the elven rebellion, killing most of the participants, including Aelirenn. Francesca of course survived, but she had to face the mistakes she had made. The rebellion in which she had participated had destroyed the future of the elves. Most of the young elves who could have children had died in the fight. Any hope that the elves would be able to rebuild was crushed in the rebellion. And Simlas was not very happy with his own daughter's actions. And so he disowned her. She had gone against his orders, and in doing so was partially responsible for what almost was the end of their race. After Simlas had disowned his daughter, he vowed to her to never speak a word to her ever again, which would be true, as until his death he never said anything to her ever again. A few decades later in her life, Francesca would have become a sorceress. She was part of the group that investigated the Houtborg triplets. The reason she was brought in had to do with the fact that her father, Simlas, had taught her about the Elder Blood, traces of which could be found in the children of Rhiannon. In the books, Simlas never got a name. He is mentioned in Baptism of Fire, but that was only to the extent that Francesca told the Lord Sorceresses that her father was an elven sage and that she was left behind by him. But Gwent decided to further expand upon him, and the way he ties into Aelirenns' uprising is something I can in a way appreciate, as it is almost always interesting to see the games decide to expand further upon events from the past, to further flesh out the world. We really don't know when he died, but based on the fact that the books say he was a knower, we can assume he died at some point before the main book saga. But what do you think of Simlas? Was he in the right to disown Francesca and wanting peace with the humans? Till the next video. Bye.